Welcome back to another episode of Backyard Builds. On this episode, we're going to spray some primer on the dash, try and paint the floor, because we have an absolute cracker of a day. So the wagon's out in the sun, just letting the floors dry up. What we're going to do is we're going to get some anti-ox from Oxytech. Going to tidy up that tunnel, give it a quick buzz with a wire wheel, and then seam seal it, prime it up. But first, while the sun's out, the grass is bloody long, but we have the home spray booth set up. So we're going to get all this stuff in primer. This is one of the main components holding me up from getting glass back in the car and sealing the car back up. So I've got to get the dash primed up, and we'll try and get it in colour tomorrow, and then it can go back in the car when the floors are painted, and then we can start putting trim in, car builders, roof liner, glass, all the stuff. The car go back together. So let's get some primer. So first step is to wax and grease remover. So we'll just wipe off any excess dust or anything on the parts while the compressor warms up. Just get this floor ready to paint. Tunnel, we just scotch brighted off, got all the rust off it. Then give her a quick hit with the old rust converter, seam sealer, and then she should be pretty good to paint. Take the belt out of the back, give her a good wipe down with prep wash, and get it painted. So I've got a good coat of sealer on there, rust converter, sorry. So what we're going to do now is use our CAM's brushable seam sealer just to go over the top of those welds to make sure that there's no little pinholes or anything that will let water in. And we'll leave it overnight, come back tomorrow and paint her up. Well, it's the next day. The seam sealer has gone off. All sealed up now, so that's good. So we're ready to pretty well paint in there. Once we give it a tidy, we might try and get those seat belts out. Also, primed the dash yesterday, as you guys seen. So we've taken it off the outdoor clothesline, and I've decided I wanted to put a radio in this car for a stereo system. My Blue Ute doesn't have one. I bought one for it. I never used it. So what we have is the retro sound bass unit. So I did patch up the original hole. The original hole was actually cut for a newer stereo. So what we've got is this retro sound unit. So I've just marked it out, cut it out. I'm just in the process of just final filing to hold the suit better. Just leave it a little bit loose in there so we can just fine tune it. But do that, paint this, go to Scotch-Brite, paint this off, and continue on while the sun is good. So just going to start with mixing up some paint. So, because this car was a medium trim option, it was actually two-tone. So it had a metallic green as well as that flat mint green that's a body colour. So trim's already two-tone. So got this colour here. So it's just a 50% mix ratio. So we get mixing pots. So it's 50% paint, 50% thinners. So we'll probably mix up about half a litre. So we've got 250 ml of paint, 250 ml of thinners, and that should be pretty good for today's application. So we've got some mixing sticks. So try and mix it through together. Paint's too small, can's too small to use the drill mixer. Give it a good mix up. Yeah, still messy in here, but gotta get it while the sun shines. I'll mix this up, I'll spray it out. I'm not gonna tell you how to adjust your gun because I'm no expert on it, that's for sure. Just gotta find what works for you. So mix it up and get some thinnerets in it. So just sprayed the green on, and now we've just masked the top section off because the top section is actually matte black. So put paper down through here, mask it up, and get ready to paint it black. Grab some vacuum on the floor out with the air vacuum, and we'll flat blank it at the same time. So we've got all the main floor painted in black, and busted out the body colour again, and got all the rear cargo area done. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. See you next week on Backyard Builds.